Hey Fabricators, welcome back to another exciting episode of Advancing Fabric, brought to you by Advancing Analytics, your data and AI experts. We are still here in sunny Vegas at the Microsoft Fabric Community Conference, and we're just wrapping up the final day today.
Yep, time for us to travel home tonight. It's been a long week, a very exciting week, a very enjoyable week. I think for me, one of the great things when you come to events like this is you get the opportunity not just to mix and mingle with sort of people out in the community, but also directly with some of the actual vendors. So we were really lucky to catch up with both Jay and Alex from Microsoft.
Yeah, and you also caught up with Franco Patano from Databricks as well.
Yeah, so we did some interviews with some of those folks, finding out what's going on in their world. Let's go check them out. So I'm here with Alex. For people who don't know you, who are you? What do you do? Where have you come from?
My name is Alex Powers. I'm part of the Fabric CAT, the customer advisory team at Microsoft, flying in from St. Louis, hanging out here with Big Johnny Vegas at FabCon, having a blast.
And you've been here all week, yeah?
Monday through Saturday, so it is a long week in Vegas. I have aged like 10 years, so it has been a blast.
So what have you been doing whilst you've been here?
Ask the expert booth.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, a ton of that. So I did semantic modeling, and I also did co-pilots. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a seat at the data factory because they're all filled up, so everyone's been catching me in the hallways talking about data flows and kind of data pipelines, so it's been a blast.
And you've done a couple of presentations as well, right? You've done a few sessions?
One thus far. I have another one today on AI features in data factory, so we'll be talking about all the Power Query stuff, co-pilots, and then also a little bit of data pipelines.
Power Query, all the things, right?
Power Query, everything, all the time, everywhere, all at once.
We've got to call out the shirt. It's an amazing shirt. How sick is the shirt? Absolutely. So, of all the big announcements so far at the conference, what are you most excited about?
So I've heard a lot about subfolders being everyone's like top thing, and I was like, are you that starved?
We've got folders in the folders.
Yeah. Mirroring. That was like the big win for me, because a lot of people who were like, I need to build data pipelines, maybe not anymore. Just mirror the data right in, get kind of your analytics. So that was like a big win. I need to figure out where they fit in for a DI guy like myself.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of the first thing I learn on Monday.
You'd just be out of a job. You'll be fine.
Don't say it like
that. So, is there anything you're working on at the moment that you can share with us?
Yes. So I am a shadow PM. So Fabric Cat, 80% of my week at PM, the other 20%. I'm working on the co-pilot for data flows. So writing Power Query M through a natural language interface. We have a lot of features today that I'll be talking about at the FabCon, but more importantly, the things that we're working on is suggested values, so recognizing columns and maybe some dirty data, and also schema-based suggestions. So your data isn't laid out correctly. Let's transform it for you. Let's get into a star schema, all the things.
Star schema, all the things, whilst power querying everything.
I know. This is amazing.
Mind blown. What's been your favorite thing so far whilst you've been here?
The conversations with people in the hallways that are random.
Yeah.
And when people are like, I've got this thing, a guy ran up to me with like 12 sheets of paper. He was ready for like this conference, and he said my job would only send me here if I came back with all these things answered. I was like, that's amazing. Keep asking your boss for that budget. So I love that people did that. Of course, here we're hanging out in the community center. If everyone can see it in the background, love hanging out with MVPs. So it's been amazing. Right,
so we're going to move on to the real hard-hitting ones now. So we've been going around the conference all week, speaking to an awful lot of people, trying to get into the real sort of, important subjects of the day. What is your favorite flavor of jelly bean?
Puke or grass. I remember those distinctly.
Puke and grass at the same time could be a fun one. So the other really deep one, which is very important, if you had to choose for the rest of your life to either be a plate or a bowl, which one would you choose?
Bowl. They're versatile.
Right, so I am here with Jay. Jay, for those that don't know you, who are you, what do you do, where have you come from?
Well, I'm Jay, I'm a product manager on the Power BI team. I mostly focus on DAX these days, and I'm originally from the Netherlands. I moved to the US 5 years ago, and I live close to Seattle.
And you've been here all week?
I've been here all week. I arrived Tuesday morning. I unfortunately had to miss the keynote, but then again, I knew exactly what we're going to talk about.
You knew I was in the keynote.
Yeah.
So is there anything in particular from the announcements you're particularly excited about?
I'm really excited about task flows.
I am really excited about task flows. I think they could be game-changing.
I'm going to be very excited about how that will develop, because I know it's kind of like we're starting in that area, and it's really exciting for me as a product manager. I'm not personally involved, but just to see that area grow and develop. I think it can be indeed a game changer, but yeah, time will tell, right? It's in the infant stages, so yeah, we'll figure it out.
It is, for me, the one thing I'm most excited about getting my hands on with, to be honest. I think it'd be great.
I saw a couple versions internally already. It looks really good. There's a couple rough edges, obviously, but we'll get it done.
And you've delivered a couple of sessions whilst you've been here as well?
Yeah, I've done a couple of sessions yesterday, 3 of them in total, if I may count the power hour as a session.
Can't not count that.
2.5 then, maybe? Well, whatever. 3, and then booth duty, ask the experts, just talking to people, community, meeting the community. So yeah, it's been busy.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Anything in particular that you're working on at the minute that you can tell us about?
Well, I teased in the roadmap session yesterday morning. Yes, yesterday morning. I teased a little something that we call Power BI, Copilot Answers.
Yeah.
I don't know if people saw that, but basically you walk up to a semantic model in a data set, in a report, and you go like, hey, I've got a specific question about the data, like what's my total sales amount? Who's the sales manager for this client? What was the average sales price for our product last month?
Is the weather better in Seattle or New York?
Exactly, stuff like that. And we worked on that and we showed it off as a sneak peek. It's not ready yet for consumption, but just as like, hey, we understand that from our research, we also know that like 50% of the questions that people want to ask are more in that kind of area, not just general questions like give me a report. No, I have this specific question. So we're working on that, and I've been personally involved as a product manager to get that done.
Have you had a particular highlight of the conference whilst you've been here? Is there a particular thing that you've like enjoyed most?
I mean, just meeting the community in general. Every time I get the feeling like this is one big group of people who are so friendly and so open and outgoing, and all the energy over here is electric. I would just wish we would do this all day, but I guess none of us would get to work. So I guess
it'd be exhausting.
Yeah,
but I mean, we're like final day of the conference today, and it's still like there's still a buzz about the place.
Oh yeah.
Really exciting.
It's very busy. So yeah, that's for me. It's always electric and energizing to meet the community. So I guess that's the highlight.
So I guess now, sort of moving on to sort of some really the deep questions here, the real hard-hitting topics.
I'm afraid now. Sorry, really scaring me, dude.
Need to grill you about some of these things now.
Okay. I hope I have answers for you then.
What is your favorite flavor of jelly bean?
I mean, I'm Dutch, so it has to be licorice then, right?
I am a licorice fan.
Yeah,
I do like my licorice.
Come on,
absolutely.
You cannot. They don't make a raw herring flavor in jelly bean, right? So then I have to go. At least I'm not aware. So then I have to go with licorice.
What's the tin fish that you can get that is like really really strong?
That is the herring. Yeah. So I don't think they make that in. Although I wouldn't be surprised. I never had one, so I'm going with licorice.
Alex Power's favorite jelly bean was puke.
It's Alex Powers.
Every flavored bean.
I mean, what would you expect? That's what he does.
So one last one for you, like really really big, another hard hitting question for you. If you had to choose for the rest of your life to either be a plate or a bowl, which one would you choose?
A plate or a bowl? I would be a bowl.
So I'm here with Franco. For people that don't know you, who are you? What do you do? Where have you come from?
Hey everybody, my name is Franco Patano. I'm a product specialist at Databricks. I focus on Databricks SQL, our data warehousing product. Where I come from, before Databricks, I was practicing in industry. I've worked in the education, banking, and commercial real estate industries. And I used to build global data warehouse and BI solutions for about 15 plus years before Databricks. Then I figured out what Databricks was working on with Delta about 6 years ago. And I was like, well, if you could put a data warehouse on a data lake, that sounds like the future. And so the rest is history.
So obviously we're here in Las Vegas at the Microsoft Fabric Community Conference, and you work for Databricks. What are you doing here? Are you not like mortally sworn enemies?
Well, it depends on how you look at things. Microsoft is a very, 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 very large organization. Covers a lot of things. I would say that the Azure folks that are in charge of infrastructure, Databricks burns a lot of compute and storage. They like us, right? They love us, actually. We're great on their numbers. But maybe some of the people that design software that works just like Databricks are very, 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 very similar to Databricks. Maybe there's a little bit of a frenemy type of situation there. But all in all, it's been pretty friendly. I've been talking to some of the Fabric folks, and there's kind of like this, we really like what you all are doing, we really think it's the right way, and you can kind of see that. Microsoft has doubled down on Fabric, and Delta and Lakehouse and all these things. So maybe Databricks is where they get their inspiration.
Right. So what have you been doing whilst you've been here then?
Having lots of fun,
yeah.
Hanging out. I hang out with people like you guys, where we are having a good time. I had the talk. A lot of people came to the booth afterwards to kind of figure out more, and that was pretty interesting. A lot of people are agreeing that they had the same problems. I gave a talk on what are the biggest concerns that data leaders and business leaders have with modernizing, and a lot of people seemed to resonate with that message, so it was cool.
So what was the actual the talk you did? What was the title for it? What was the sort of the subject for it?
The best warehouse is a lakehouse with Azure Databricks. That was the title of the talk, and basically showing how we've been helping customers with Unity Catalog and Serverless SQL and Power BI to have a well-governed, secure, privacy, well-understandable data architecture on Azure.
So I think for me, the keynote on day one of my favorite announcements. So was it one of your No, it wasn't the CEO, but
the VP.
One of the VPs from Databricks came on.
David Meyer
Talked about the new sort of features coming into Unity Catalog. Showed us being able to see kind of Fabric and Unity Catalog almost sort of working together, which is like a really nice little thing.
Yeah.
Also the data rooms. I'm excited about data rooms. I'm a big Power BI geek.
Yeah.
That kind of idea of actually we can sort of build this data room in Databricks and then spit that out straight to a semantic model in Power BI. I think it's like a really nice story.
Yeah, I actually, one of the things I work on at Databricks is data rooms. We call it Project Genie internally because it grants all your wishes. But I've been working with a lot of customers in the kind of the early private preview, and number one thing I hear is that they're shocked at how good it can understand what they want to get done. Although there's kind of like this disconnect. People say, well, the people that have been testing it know the answer that they want to get,
right?
So they know how to ask the right question.
Yeah.
And I'm like, give this to people that aren't you, like business users. And then what's interesting is we find, well, they don't know how to ask for what they want.
Pesky business users.
So maybe it's a tool to help us help people really understand what they want out of data. I don't know to see where it goes, but I think it's super interesting now that people can chat with their data. I think it's going to be, what was the number one thing you would hear after you make a dashboard in Power BI? What's like the first follow-up question?
Can I export it to Excel?
Can I export this to Excel? Right? Why do they want to do that? Because they have follow-up questions. I want to know, I need to slice and dice this my own way. How I see things happening, personally, is you create your Power BI dashboard that answers the 80% of the questions that exist, right?
Yep.
And there's a little link in there at the top, bottom right, maybe, or somewhere. It says, go into the data room, right? And ask all your follow-up questions. And the data now is not exfiltrated out of the cloud into Excel on some poor user's laptop.
Yep.
That could be, run away at any point in time. You're in the data room, you're asking your follow-up questions, and you're able to do that without having to slice and dice yourself. I think that's the future of self-service. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited to play with it, excited to get my hands on it for sure. Have you got a particular highlight from your time here then?
Hanging out with you, meeting you in person, I think was the highlight. Of this week. I've kind of seen a lot of the stuff you've done, but really it's engaging with the community. People, I've had people that know Databricks are like, hey, I've heard of you before, and tell me more. And I've been able to help them bridge that gap. And then other people are like, I've never heard of Databricks at all. How can you help us? I have all these SQL servers, and I have all the complex things, and helping the community connect the dots has been really a joy of mine.
It's been a real people-focused event, I think. I've really enjoyed, again, that same networking element, being able to see some folks I've not seen for a while and catch up, meet some folks in person for the first time, which has been great.
Yeah.
But even the practitioners and people I'd never come across before, just having those great conversations in a queue for the coffee and that kind of thing. So It's been great. Awesome. So really good to get a chance to catch up with those folks. Really appreciate that Jay and Alex and Franco gave the time to speak to us about it. It was really good to chat.
Yeah, and it's like half the benefit of coming to events like this is being able to speak to people like that, speak to the product team, catch up with attendees as well and other speakers, and just find out what's going on, what people are involved in. It's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. So both with Microsoft and Fabric, and even Databricks and sort of integrations with Fabric as well. Loads of great stuff coming up on the horizon. If you want to keep abreast of all those kind of happenings in those worlds, make sure you do like and subscribe to the channel. We'll make sure we get as much content as we can out there with all the new stuff that's coming out there. But in the meantime, see you next time.